Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you're all well. You amazing, amazing people. Thank you so much for joining me for video 2 of 2 today. Yes, that's right. You're amazing. You look amazing. You are amazing. And I am happy that you are here. Some people do your head in, don't they, on this platform? I do try and ignore them. Sometimes I bite back, and I shouldn't. I should just live and let live. And I think that's going to be my new mantra. I think I'll just start ignoring people from now on because they do craze me. But anyway, like I say, you're amazing, and we've got some stuff to talk about because tomorrow we'll be diverting away from the Idaho 4 case for a period, unless something comes up, unless there's a new court doc or something like that. But there are other cases we need to speak about. There's other things happening around the Delphi case, the Alex Murdaugh case, and yes, we need to start talking about some other things. So we're going to leave today sort of where the first video of the day set up. That was sort of teed us off to where we are now. Because look, this is where I feel we are. This is just my ideas. This is just where I think, what I think. And at the end of the day, it's got no bearing in law. And people will no doubt have differences of opinion, and that's absolutely fine. But this is what I genuinely think. I think this entire case, one pivotal piece of it is Bethany Funke. I think she is the ace in the hole. Now, it's whether she's the ace in the hole for the prosecution or the defence. That's the question. Now, we've been led to believe by the defence that Bethany Funke holds exculpatory evidence to the case, to Bryan Kohberger. So that means that they believe she has details of what happened that if she tells people, if it gets out, it could help Bryan Kohberger. And you think to yourself, what could that be? What possibly could Bethany Funke know that could be helpful to Bryan Kohberger? And I was thinking about it. You know what I mean? If she saw exactly the same as Dylan Mortensen, that wouldn't be helpful, would it? Because part of the PCA and what was used as evidence against Bryan Kohberger was the statement given by Dylan Mortensen. Now, there was no mention of Bethany Funke in the PCA in terms of what she saw or any interview, information that was given. She didn't claim to have seen the same thing, but we're supposed to believe that they were communicating with one another. So again, exculpatory evidence, what could that look like? Now, we spoke earlier on in the video about Brent Kohberger and the potential that there was always more than one person. I think this has been my thought from the beginning, that there was more than one person. Now, could it be that Bethany Funke truly did see something else, saw someone else, at a different time, at the same time, but she saw something that differed from what Dylan Mortensen stated within the PCA. Their stories somehow have fractured, and there are two completely different stories. Two different things. Now imagine this goes to court and she is called as a witness. What happens? What then happens? Does she give a story that she didn't know anything, didn't hear anything, didn't see anything? But then if the text messages between the two are proof that they were both up and they were both discussing something within 1122 King Road, they were having a discussion, then she's not going to be able to say that. Now, if this other person who was working on behalf of the defence team have managed to get hold of some information, whether that was from the horse's mouth or whether that was by a third party, who knows, but they've obviously got hold of something. And if that does at some point to the fact that there was someone else in that house at a different time, then what effect does that have on the entire case? Could that be enough to bring this case to its knees? If Bethany Funke genuinely has information that would allude to the fact that there was someone else in that house that night, And in fact, the person dressed in black, clad in black, bushy eyebrows, was not seen by Bethany Funke at all. Not seen, nothing. But in fact, she had a very unique experience. Perhaps she heard thumping about. Perhaps she heard what sounded like fighting, arguing. Perhaps she saw someone leave, because after hearing that, she was looking out of the window and happened to see someone leave the property. And this was a completely different time frame. Because Ann Taylor has alluded to the fact that Bryan Kohberger may have been driving around that night, because that's just something that he did. But he wasn't in the area at the time of the crime. Now, Ann Taylor could be talking about two different things here. She could be talking that Bryan Kohberger wasn't in the area between 4 a.m. and 4:20 a.m., the time of the crime. Or Ann Taylor could in fact have information that would lead her to believe that the crime happened at a different time. And whereas Bryan Kohberger could have well been in the vicinity of 1122 King Road between the hours of 4 and 4:20, she may have information that would lead her to believe that the crime happened perhaps at 3 a.m. and the crime had already taken place. And that may be the angle that they are looking to push. But let me know down below. Again, this is just me spitballing, because I do feel that Bethany Funke is the only thing, the only person that can get Bryan Kohberger out of this hole. Because if we believe that people can plant evidence, they can get a patsy, then we must conclude that they can put this man through the system, have him found guilty, and have him executed for this crime. What we know is that we have a car that is apparently seen on camera. And it just happens to be a car very similar than Bryan Kohberger's. We have a knife sheath that we're led to believe has his DNA on it, that they went through this convoluted system to get it, but ultimately they got it. And this information is being told to the jury. So you've got this guy, car, knife sheath, phone turned off. Even though it's all circumstantial evidence, people have been convicted on circumstantial evidence. All that this court proceedings is going to be is a sales pitch. It's going to be prosecution, defense, selling their stories, and it's whatever one captures the hearts and minds of that jury. And you have to trust that not the most dominant person in that jury, the person who's going to become speaker for the jury, is not in some way anti-Bryan Kohberger, or takes this case personally and just wants to see someone burn for it, and it just happens to be Bryan Kohberger. That someone hasn't been leveraged to get this put away. What do we see in the Alex Murdaugh situation? Someone who's writing a book, and they want this all sort of done, dusted, out the way, done. And now we see a situation where it looks like Alex Murdaugh is going back to court because of jury tampering. It happens. It happens in big, high-profile cases, little profile cases, no profile cases. Happens. Corruption, coercion exists. And in this Idaho 4 case, we know that there's a lot of money in the background. And there's a lot of power, there's a lot of wealth, and there's a lot at stake. They want the house gone. They want this wrapped up, done, dusted, ready for Christmas. How does Bryan get out of it? If he is an innocent man, how does he get out of it? What does Bethany Funke know? Let me know down below. Honestly, what do you genuinely think Bethany Funke could know that could be exculpatory to Bryan Kohberger? Is it that she saw somebody else? And if she did see somebody else, would that be enough? Would that genuinely be enough? Let me know down below, and I'll catch you all in the next one.